Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Easy English Talk. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Julia.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be with you again. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a regular listener, we're so glad you're learning with us.
Today, we've got a really exciting and powerful topic for you: rewire your brain for English.
Yes, this is one of those topics that can completely change how you learn English. Many people think that learning a new language is just about grammar or vocabulary, but it's also about how your brain works.
Exactly. Our brains are amazing. They can actually change and grow, even as adults. That means we can train our brain to think in English, speak more fluently, and understand more clearly.
And that's what we're going to talk about today: how to rewire your brain so that learning English becomes easier, faster, and even more fun.
So, if you've ever felt stuck, or like you're just not good at languages, this episode is for you. Stay with us, because we'll share practical tips, powerful insights, and even a small challenge you can start today.
Let's get started. First, let's talk about what rewiring your brain actually means.
So, Julia, let's begin with the big question. What does it actually mean to rewire your brain?
Great question. Rewire your brain simply means changing the way your brain works. It's like creating new roads in your brain, new paths for thinking, speaking, and understanding.
That's a nice way to explain it. Roads in the brain. You know, our brain has something called microplastics, which means it can change and adapt when we learn something new, even a language.
Exactly. When you keep doing something over and over, like listening to English or speaking out loud, your brain builds new connections. Those connections help you do it faster and better next time.
Right? It's like going to the gym. If you want strong muscles, you have to exercise. If you want strong English skills, you have to exercise your brain.
I love that. And just like building muscles, it takes time and practice. But the good news is, your brain is ready for it. No matter your age, no matter where you're from, you can rewire your brain for English.
And here's something cool. When you think in your own language, your brain uses familiar patterns. But when you start thinking in English, your brain builds new patterns.
That's right. At first, it feels slow or difficult. But over time, English starts to feel more natural. That's your brain getting stronger in a new direction.
So, if you're listening today and thinking, "But I always forget words," or "I feel shy speaking English," don't worry. Your brain just needs more training. It's learning a new path.
Yes, you're not bad at English. You just haven't built those brain roads yet. But today we're going to help you start building them step by step.
Exactly. And soon, you'll be thinking and speaking in English more easily, and even enjoying the process.
So now that we know what rewiring your brain means, let's talk about why English feels hard sometimes. That's coming up next.
Stay with us. All right, now that we understand what it means to rewire your brain, let's talk about something important. Why learning English feels hard for so many people.
Yes, and you know what, Jason? That feeling is totally normal. Learning a new language is not easy, especially when your brain is already used to your native language.
Exactly. Our brains are kind of lazy sometimes. They like to stick with what they already know. So when you try to speak English, your brain might say, "Wait, this is different. I don't like it."
Haha, that's so true. For example, if your first language is very different from English, your brain has to work harder to build new grammar rules, new sounds, and even new ways of thinking.
And another big challenge is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding silly, or fear of not being understood.
Yes, that fear can stop people from speaking. But guess what? Making mistakes is actually part of learning. It's how your brain grows and gets stronger.
Also, habits can get in the way. Maybe you're used to translating everything in your head before speaking. That slows you down and makes English feel difficult.
Exactly. And sometimes, learners only study grammar or vocabulary but don't use English in real life, so their brain doesn't get the practice it needs to build those new language roads.
Right. So if English feels hard right now, it's not because you're bad at it, it's because your brain is still learning. You just need more practice, more patience, and the right habits.
And that's what we're going to talk about next. How the brain forms habits with language, and how you can use that to your advantage.
Let's get into it. All right, let's dive into something really powerful. Habits. Julia, how do habits connect to learning English?
Great question. So, habits are things we do automatically without thinking too much, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone. And guess what? Your brain loves habits because they save energy.
Right. When it comes to language learning, your brain tries to create shortcuts. If you repeat something often, like saying a phrase in English or listening every day, it becomes automatic, a habit.
Yes. The more you do it, the easier it gets. At first, saying, "How are you?" might feel strange or slow, but if you say it every day, soon your brain doesn't even need to think. It just happens.
That's your brain building a new path, just like we talked about earlier. And the best part is, you don't need to make huge changes. Even small habits make a big difference over time.
Exactly. You don't need to study English for 3 hours a day. Just 10 or 15 minutes, if you do it every day, can rewire your brain and make English feel more natural.
I love that. And it's important to be aware of bad habits too, like always translating in your head or avoiding speaking because you're afraid.
Yes, if you always rely on translation, your brain builds that habit. But if you start thinking in English, even just simple thoughts like "I'm hungry" or "it's sunny," you're creating a new, better habit.
And one way to do that is to connect English to your daily life. For example, when you're cooking, name the ingredients in English. Or describe what you're doing, like, "I'm cutting the onions."
That's such a great tip. And don't forget, habits take time, usually about 21 to 30 days to really stick. So be patient and consistent.
Yes, at first it feels hard, but if you keep going, your brain starts to help you. That's the magic of habits.
Coming up next, we're going to give you some simple daily practices you can use to start rewiring your brain for English, starting today.
Stay tuned. It's going to be really practical and easy to follow. Now that we've talked about how the brain forms habits, let's get into the good stuff. Daily practices to actually rewire your brain for English.
Yes, these are simple activities that you can do every day to build those new neural pathways in your brain. The key is consistency. It's about doing a little bit every day.
So, let's start with the first one, listening to English every day. It might sound simple, but it's so powerful. Just 30 minutes a day of listening can help you understand English faster.
Exactly. And you don't have to sit and study for 30 minutes straight. You can listen while you're doing other things like cooking, walking, or commuting.
That's right. Listening to podcasts like ours, watching English TV shows, or even listening to music in English. These all help train your brain to get used to the sounds and rhythm of the language.
And speaking of listening, the next practice is speaking out loud. This one is super important. Even if you don't have a partner to practice with, you can still speak aloud every day.
That's a game changer. Try speaking to yourself. Describe what you're doing, talk about your day, or repeat sentences you've learned. Your brain will start to feel more comfortable with speaking.
Yes, it might feel a little awkward at first, but remember, the more you speak, the more your brain learns to think in English. It becomes a natural part of your routine.
Here's another great one. Use English in real life. Even if you don't have a conversation partner, you can still use English throughout your day. For example, label things around your house in English or write short notes to yourself in English.
That's a fantastic way to make English part of your everyday life. Your brain learns best when you put it into practice, even in small ways.
Another simple practice is reading out loud. Try reading a short story or article in English and say the words out loud. This helps your brain connect written words with spoken words.
And don't forget about journaling in English. Just a few sentences a day about your thoughts, your plans, or your feelings can really help you get comfortable with writing.
These daily practices don't have to be big, complicated tasks. The point is to do something every day that makes English feel natural and automatic.
So, let's recap. Listen to English every day. Speak out loud. Use English in real-life situations. Read out loud and keep a journal. These little things add up, and over time, they'll rewire your brain for English.
Exactly. And now that we've covered daily practices, let's talk about something that really helps changing your thoughts and mindset to support your learning. We've covered a lot of great practices to help rewire your brain for English. Now let's talk about something equally important, your mindset. How you think about learning English can really affect how well you do.
Yes, your thoughts can either help you grow or hold you back. For example, if you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good at English," your brain will believe it. But if you change your mindset, your brain will follow.
Exactly. Instead of saying, "I can't speak English," try saying, "I'm getting better every day." That simple change in thought will help you stay motivated.
And that's the power of positive thinking. When you believe in your ability to improve, your brain starts looking for ways to make it happen. It starts to believe that you can do it.
I love that. Here's a tip. Whenever you make a mistake in English, don't think of it as a failure. Instead, see it as a step forward. Mistakes are part of the process. They're proof that you're trying and learning.
Exactly. I love how you said that. Every time you speak or write in English, you're growing, even if it feels like you're making mistakes. Your brain is actually making those new connections.
Right. And a helpful mindset to adopt is to focus on progress, not perfection. It's okay if you don't speak perfectly. What matters is that you're speaking, you're learning, and you're improving.
That's so important. And when you focus on progress, you start enjoying the process. English doesn't feel like a chore anymore. It becomes part of your day.
Exactly. So, if you're feeling stuck, try changing how you think. Instead of saying, "I'll never be fluent," say, "I'm getting closer to fluency every day." It's a small but powerful shift.
And that positivity can really speed up your learning. The brain loves it when we focus on growth and celebrate our wins, no matter how small.
So, as we wrap up this section, remember, changing your thoughts is a huge part of rewiring your brain. Positive thinking, self-belief, and focusing on progress can help you move forward in your English journey.
That's right. And now that we've covered how to change your thoughts, let's talk about how to stay consistent with your learning even when it gets tough.
Consistency is key, so stay tuned. We'll talk about how to make it a habit. Now, let's talk about some tools and techniques that can make a huge difference in rewiring your brain for English.
Yes, there are some amazing resources out there that can help you stay on track and make your learning even more effective. Let's start with one of the most powerful tools, language apps.
Oh, definitely. Apps like Duolingo, Memorize, or Babel are great because they turn learning into a game. They use spaced repetition, which helps your brain remember new words and phrases over time.
Exactly. Spaced repetition means you review words at intervals, which is scientifically proven to help your brain retain information better. The more you practice, the stronger those neural connections become.
Another great tool is flashcards. You can make them digital, like in Anki or Quizlet, or go old school with paper cards. The idea is to test yourself regularly to reinforce new vocabulary.
Flashcards are fantastic for memorizing new words and phrases. You can also create flashcards with example sentences, so you practice the words in context, not just in isolation.
And speaking of context, one of my favorite techniques is immersive learning. This means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. Change your phone's language settings, watch movies or TV shows in English, or follow English-speaking social media accounts.
Yes, immersive learning tricks your brain into thinking that English is a natural part of your world. The more you hear it, the more your brain starts to recognize patterns and structures without you even realizing it.
Another powerful technique is shadowing. This is when you listen to an English speaker and try to repeat exactly what they say, as closely as possible, matching their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm.
Shadowing is like having a conversation with the speaker, even if they can't hear you. It's an excellent way to improve your speaking and listening skills, and it helps train your brain to speak more naturally.
And don't forget about guided practice, where you practice speaking or writing with specific exercises. For example, you can practice asking questions or describing pictures in English. The more specific you get, the more focused your brain becomes.
Exactly. And let's not overlook mindfulness practices. Taking a moment to be mindful, clear your mind, and focus on what you're learning can help your brain absorb information more effectively.
So, to recap, language apps, flashcards, immersive learning, shadowing, guided practice, and mindfulness are all fantastic tools to help rewire your brain for English.
Yes, the key is to use them regularly and combine different tools. Your brain thrives when you give it a variety of ways to learn and practice English.
All right, we've given you a lot of great tools and techniques today. Up next, we'll wrap things up by sharing some final thoughts on staying motivated and keeping that positive momentum going. Before we wrap things up, Julia, I think it's important to share a little bit of personal motivation. Learning a new language can feel overwhelming at times, but there are always ways to keep pushing forward.
Absolutely. I remember when I first started learning English, I struggled with the same things many learners do, especially pronunciation. It felt like I was never going to get it right, and I wanted to give up at times.
I completely understand. When I first started learning a new language, I felt the same way. I used to get frustrated when I couldn't say something correctly. But then, I realized that every mistake was just a part of the journey.
Yes, and those mistakes are not failures, they're learning opportunities. Every time you make a mistake, you're actually rewiring your brain to do better next time. The important thing is to keep going and not be afraid of those mistakes.
Exactly. I think we often put too much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, especially in a language like English, which can be tricky with all its rules and exceptions.
Exactly. And I found that the key to staying motivated is remembering why you're learning. Whether it's for travel, work, or personal growth, keeping that goal in mind makes it easier to stay consistent.
Great point. For me, it was always about being able to connect with more people and understand different cultures. That goal kept me going even on the tough days.
And for our listeners, remember, you're not alone in this journey. We all go through the challenges, but by staying positive, keeping a growth mindset, and using the right tools, you can achieve your goals.
Absolutely. So stay motivated, keep practicing, and remember that progress is progress no matter how small. Rewiring your brain for English takes time, but every step you take brings you closer to your goal.
Well said. So, with that, we hope you're feeling inspired and ready to continue your English learning journey. Keep those positive thoughts and daily habits in place, and before you know it, you'll be speaking English with confidence.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, you've got this. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and we'll see you in the next episode. All right, now that we've covered a lot of ground today, it's time to give our listeners a clear action plan they can follow to start rewiring their brain for English.
Yes, we want to make sure that after listening to this episode, you have a solid plan to put into action right away. So, let's break it down.
First things first, set a daily practice routine. Pick at least 2 of the practices we talked about earlier, like listening to English and speaking out loud, and commit to doing them every day. Even 15 to 30 minutes a day can make a huge difference.
Exactly. And remember, consistency is key. Try to make English a natural part of your daily life. It could be as simple as listening to a podcast on your way to work or describing your day in English when you wake up.
Next, focus on your mindset. Each day, remind yourself that you're getting better, even if you don't see huge progress right away. Positive thinking and self-belief will keep you motivated on the tough days.
Yes, change your thoughts and your results will follow. Start telling yourself, I can speak English confidently, and see how that shifts your perspective.
Now, for some actionable tools, download a language learning app like Duolingo or Memorize. Use it for just 10 to 15 minutes each day. It's a fun and interactive way to stay engaged and track your progress.
And don't forget about flashcards. Whether it's digital or traditional, start creating flashcards for new words and phrases you encounter. Review them every day to reinforce your vocabulary.
A great way to keep things fresh is to switch up your learning tools. Use a mix of apps, reading materials, podcasts, and videos. The variety will help your brain stay engaged and excited about learning.
Lastly, stay accountable. Tell a friend or family member about your English learning goal, or even share it on social media. Having someone to check in with can help you stay on track.
Great point! Accountability is a powerful motivator. And remember, don't be too hard on yourself if you miss a day. The most important thing is to keep going.
Exactly. So, to sum it up, set a daily routine, change your mindset, use tools like apps and flashcards, stay consistent, and hold yourself accountable.
If you follow these steps every day, your brain will start to rewire, and you'll notice real improvements in your English. Stay patient, stay motivated, and enjoy the journey.
You've got this. Keep practicing, and remember, learning English is a process, but you're making progress every day. We believe in you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time with more tips to help you reach your English goals. Keep learning and keep growing. And that's a wrap for today's episode on how to rewire your brain for English. We've shared a lot of great tools, techniques, and tips to help you make learning English a natural part of your life.
Yes, we hope you're feeling inspired and ready to start implementing these strategies. Remember, rewiring your brain takes time, but with consistency, a positive mindset, and the right tools, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make.
We'd love to hear how you're doing. So, if you're enjoying this podcast, please take a moment to subscribe and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us create better content for you and helps others find this podcast.
And don't forget to share this episode with a friend who's also learning English. The more, the merrier. Learning together can be so motivating.
If you have any questions or want to share your personal journey with us, feel free to connect with us on social media or drop us a comment. We're here to support you every step of the way.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and remember, you are capable of great things. We believe in you.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep growing, keep learning, and keep rewiring your brain for English.